All right, let's head out to the cloud in the sky where Beth Wiles is our special guest today with the Pulaski County,
Mhm.
which is in Missouri. So, sorry, I've never heard of this county. And is it a Polish name? It seems Polish to me. So, Beth, how are you today?
I am doing fantastic, and I really appreciate the invite.
Well, I'm so glad that you got to join us today. And anytime that we can meet a new friend out on the road, we're very happy to do so. Now, tell us a little bit about your county first before we get into some of the Route 66 meat and potatoes of it.
Yeah, as you mentioned, I'm with the Pulaski County Tourism Bureau and Visitors Center. And there are a lot of Pulaski counties out there across the United States. And you are right. It's named after a Revolutionary War hero, Count Pulaski. But we are located, as I said, in Missouri, right about in the center of the state. And we have the beautiful Mother Road that runs right through our communities. And our area, we're a rural area, known for fantastic outdoor activities, fishing, floating along the riverways. Gasconade and Big Piney are our primary rivers. Of course, the Mother Road. We are home to Fort Leonard Wood, the third largest military training installation. Uh, so we're very fortunate to have them in our communities as well.
Well, this is fantastic. One of the approaches we're taking to this Route 66 Centennial, everybody has their own, and it's so neat because there's so many different ways that you can go about doing it. And, my background has primarily been media and news and that sort of thing. So when I took a look at how to approach it, I went with the just let's go county by county. And then when I started
Mhm.
looking at the counties, or 63 counties, which is, you round up and you're getting pretty close to 66. So it was good enough for me. And I thought, this is a neat thing because a lot of counties have economic development corporations, they have tourism, they have all kinds of cheerleaders that this is really designed for. And when I take a look at this Route 66 or Route 66, are you a route or a route person, I guess?
Well, it really depends on the statement I'm making, but primarily route.
Okay. See, I'm primarily a root, and that's the beauty of it. If it's a tomato, potato, root, route, we're all the same. What are some of the cities that I might run into on Route 66 when I take my trip across this 2,400 plus mile road?
Gosh, folks, they're going to experience major metro areas, of course, with it starting in Chicago, ending over in Santa Monica in California. But there's a lot of just unique small towns. And, if you ever watched the Pixar movie Cars, it really told the story of Route 66 and those little towns and how they struggled, as interstates came through and the changes of economy occur. And I always tell people if they're not familiar with Route 66, they definitely need to get a hold of that movie and just sit down and enjoy it. And it'll really give you some insight of the history of the route and how the different communities did struggle at a certain point in time.
Now, you mentioned that you're primarily a rural area for a
Mhm,
county. What cities and towns do you have within your county
mhm.
that are right on the road? I mean, I saw the other day that the governor of Illinois and a whole group of individuals, they were announcing a kickoff celebration press conference in Granite City, which is a little bit off Route 66. I mean, a little bit liberal with the Granite City. Everybody's trying to be a part of it. So, if someone's driving through your county on Route 66, what are some of those cities that they might stop in and gas up, maybe get a landmark or a bite to eat or something like that? Are there any cities on Route 66
Oh,
within your
yeah.
county?
Yeah, within our county, I always try and start from the east. Most people are traveling east to the west. But very famous internationally is the Devil's Elbow area. It's
Oh.
actually a community. Beautiful scenic area situated along the Big Piney River, and it has the unique name for that area due to um, logging operations
Sure.
many moons ago, and they would float the logs down the Big Piney River, and there was a bend in the river, and the logs would catch, and so they would say that's a devil of an elbow, trying to get those logs through there, and that's how it was named. But originally, the Munger Moss Sandwich Shop was operating down in that area and became famous over time, during the heyday of Route 66. And there was also the Elbow Inn and Barbecue Pit that operated out of that building for many years. And that really drove a lot of international interest. You could go in and hang bra on the ceiling, and a lot of the motorcycle folks stopped in there. It is no longer in operation, but the building's still there. Still a great scenic area along the riverway to take pictures. But that would be the first community you would see as you enter our county from the east. Then, as you travel along, just maybe 3 miles on west of Devil's Elbow, you're going to approach Uranus, Missouri. Now, this is an entertainment complex. It's not actually a city, but it's a great fun stop, reminiscent of those classic quirky roadside stops, during the heyday of 66. And so they're known for their fudge factory, a zany general store with all kinds of funny merchandise in it. There's all kinds of stuff throughout the complex. You can take pictures, selfies, and just an array of things. At one time, the largest belt buckle is there.
Hmm.
They've got dinosaurs out at the entranceways. It's just a great stop.
And you said it's called Uranus,
Uranus,
like
Missouri.
like the
Yes.
planet.
Yes, like the planet.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good then. I'm going to
And
write that one down. Uranus or Uranus, depending on how you pronounce it. Look at us. We've got so many homonym names that we're going back and forth with. I'm not sure homonym's the right word on that, but okay. Uh,
and it's
Landmark and statues. Have you got any landmark and statues other than the Uranus Travel Fun Center and the
Oh my gosh, yeah.
river?
And they also have the Sideshow Museum. There's only two in
Oh,
the United States. So that's another activity there. But yeah, as you come out of Uranus into St. Robert, that's kind of the business hub of our county. That's where a lot of our lodging is located, all the hotels and motels. And they just installed a Route 66 neon park. That just opened in early summer 2025, and it features restored neon signs that originated on Route 66 from St. Louis down to the Joplin area. And it is amazing to see in the day. But at night, or especially at dusk, right when the lights come on, we call that kind of the golden hour. It's just amazing to see those signs that kind of sat back in storage and fields for 20, 30 years. They were restored and brought back to life, and it's just beautiful.
certainly sounds like it's going to be a wonderful drive going through Pulaski County in
Oh,
Missouri, which coming in from the east, which we are, we're starting in Chicago. So we'll head to that Devil's Elbow and get that nice bend in the river, maybe get the sunrise, stop at
yes.
Uranus, Missouri, and then the sideshow. Is that like a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum back in the day?
Yes, basically, that would be the concept. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
and any of you Gen Z millennials, we used to have Ripley's Believe It or Not. It was a show and it was like side shows, but hey, do you believe it or not? Stop on by. They'll get your buck or two. And also, you mentioned St. Robert. So
Mhm.
that is definitely something that if you're traveling, you might want to really truly time it at dusk. So that way you can experience both the day and the night. Get yourself a bite to eat. Are there some good places to eat in St. Robert?
Oh my gosh, yeah. In St. Robert, we probably have 70 to 80 restaurants, but throughout the whole county, we have 140
Okay.
restaurants. So there's tons to choose from international flavors to, those mom and pop, that meatloaf and burger
Oh
type
yeah.
flavors. And so you have an array of choices here, as well as national franchises. So plenty of choices here.
And that's the thing about the national franchises. They have kind of taken over some of the Route 66 businesses, primarily the hotels and motels. Of course, motels sprung up from Route 66. There was no motels before Route 66, folks. So keep that in mind. Um, if there's any of the restaurants or iconic places that you care to mention, feel free. Also, the hotels and motels. Are there places on Route 66 that people can stay? It might be a Holiday Inn Express now, but so like Best Western has taken over some of the Route 66. Tried to keep the nostalgic feel in some places. Some places they don't allow it, so it's just flat out a Holiday Inn Express, and they got the Route 66 sign near it, and so I get it. That's the way it goes. But are there places right on the Route 66 people can stay?
Oh, yes. Here in our local area, we have 15 hotels and motels. All of them are pretty much the traditional franchised hotel motels. There are a few original motels to the route, scattered along the route, from Chicago to California, but they are few and far between.
Yeah, they really are. I'm looking forward to at least stopping there if I don't stay there. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to pull my 25-foot camper, which I doubt I'm going to after talking with the Oklahoma Route 66 Association. He made a very good point. Once you get to California, it starts getting switchbacky near the end. And so that's probably not a 25. I don't want to take a 25-foot camper through LA County anyway. That's
No.
might not end up with it on the way out. So who knows? Okay, so events. Have you got any events that you guys are doing, or the state, or anything along those lines? I mean, you're the Convention and Visitors Bureau, so if there's anything happening this summer, let us know.
Yeah, we actually work with event planners throughout our area, and they have been working on several events. We have the City of St. Robert that is putting on their Kicking It Route 66 Barbecue Cook-Off. It's actually a Kansas City barbecue sanctioned event.
Hmm.
They hold it every March here in the St. Robert area. There's also going to be a free color run, so save on those registrations and come on down for a great color run in conjunction with that event. They are also in the midst of working on the centennial celebration in St. Robert for the August timeframe. I do not have specific details from them on exactly what all they're doing. They actually just finalized their committee the other night, so they're kind of in the beginning stages of their plans.
Well, we'll certainly have to have you back on, or at least get the information out as you get the information. I should mention you're the
Yes.
tourism, not the Convention and
Right.
Visitors Bureau.
Tourism
Tourism.
Bureau. Yes.
I'm so
Yes.
old. I lump everything under one. I gotta
Yeah.
work on getting my mind back to the diverse ways of the different arms of the tourism and economic and chambers and all these different things. So,
They're all different. Now, another event that's been going on, well, probably about 6 years, and it actually goes across three counties, is the Route 66 yard sale. And
hmm.
initially, it was 100 miles long. It goes through Pulaski County, Laclede County, and Webster County. So that would take you east to the west. That is generally held. The first Saturday of August. It's actually Friday and Saturday, but you can always look at it as being the first Saturday of August. So that's a traditional event that's held in our area.
And if somebody's going to stay in your area, maybe for the day, and you mentioned there was a fort something or another, and for some reason my memory serves me that Mark Twain spent some time, or he's got something to do with your county. Is that correct?
So I'm not aware of that,
Okay.
but Mark Twain is from Missouri, up from Hannibal, Missouri, which is a little bit north of St. Louis area.
I see. Okay, that's where that came from then. Okay.
Yeah.
How about any forests or national parks or anything like that that you care to mention that might be within a short distance of that Route 66 if someone wanted to, like I say, if they're going to spend the day out there in your
Oh
neck
my
of the
gosh, yeah.
woods?
So regarding the forests in our area, it's called the Mark Twain Forest.
That's what I was
And
thinking of. Okay.
yeah, okay. Yes. So the Mark Twain Forest, that is basically what Missouri calls their own forests. And then the developments across the state of the Mark Twain Forest are called wildernesses. So they have very different specific names. Ohio state's very much the same way on their forestry department, just FYI. And so in our area, we do have some Mark Twain forests, but they're not necessarily developed, with like the camping and picnic and things like that.
Okay.
But we have, oh gosh, 9 different campground resorts that offer RV, campgrounds, cabins, and of course, float trip opportunities, hiking, those types of things. And then we also have regular RV parks that are very just like right off Route 66. So as you mentioned earlier, you thought about traveling, by the camper. We do get a lot of those people on Route 66 with their campers and in fact, we as a visitor center, we offer some parking space in our back lot for those who want to drop their trailer and experience our 33 miles of Route 66. And then they come back and hook back up and head on down the road.
Now, is that how many miles? 33 miles you have in your county?
Yes, we have 33 miles of Route 66. It's all continuous. Many times when you're traveling the route, people find out, they're going off the route, back on the route, and it's kind of chopped up. But ours is continuous, which is unique for this area that we're in.
And the Ozarks, is that anywhere close to where you're at? I'm not familiar with the state in the top of my head right now. And so,
No,
of course,
that's
Missouri with Ozarks and that sort of thing. Because one of the things about this Route 66 Centennial, I do think a lot of people will probably just go out and maybe drive their county or they'll maybe drive their state. They're not
mhm,
necessarily going to do the full 2,400 plus miles. I think it's
right.
2,433 or something like that.
Mhm.
And so, just going out and spending a day, well, if there's only 30 miles, they got other things to do. Then maybe they'll go out to the Ozarks for the day, or maybe they'll go check out, the Mark Twain Forest or something along those lines. Go for a nice drive in the county. So the Route 66 is the hook, if you will, and then
Yes.
from there, time is a luxury. But are you part of the Ozarks, the whole body of water thing?
Yes, and actually, we get asked that question a lot in our visitor center. We're looking for the Ozarks, and it's the reference to Ozarks is basically a region, a wide region, and it pertains a lot to the landscape. So, kind of the hills and bluffs, and I call them hills. Some people call them mountains, but I have lived in Montana before, and those are mountains.
Right.
So we have beautiful rolling hills, there's bluffs, a lot of great pristine waterways in the Ozarks. I look at it as being up around the St. Louis area and going over towards the east or the west and south. So other communities within the Ozarks would be like Lake of the Ozarks,
Mhm.
which is a huge destination for Missouri. Of course, Branson, Missouri, Ozarks, and then it goes on down into the Arkansas area. Mhm.
Okay, and let's see here. I'm going through my list of different questions here, and that is about all I really have. Let's see, I have events down and the Neon Park. We covered the Neon Park to remind people that something that if you're traveling through the county, you might want to try to get there at dusk because then you can catch it during the day, but also at night when it lights up. So check your sun down time during the day. Let's see what else we got here. That's about all I have right now. Anything else that we missed or anything else that you want to mention from the county, from the tourism board, from any businesses, from the city, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so one I made a quick note on. I wanted to hit on the town of Waynesville. It is just west of St. Robert. And so Waynesville is probably the oldest community in our area down along the Ruby Doo River. A lot of people recognize Waynesville for two things. Frog Rock, there's a gigantic boulder painted like a frog that overlooks Route 66, and he greets you as you enter the town of Waynesville. And so the city's embraced Frog Rock, and so there's kind of a lot of mojo around W.H. Croker is his name. And Waynesville is also very well recognized for where the legislation for the state of Missouri was signed, recognizing Route 66 as a Missouri historic byway. Now, of course, Springfield, Missouri, that's where Route 66 started and began. But the protection of the route, that legislation was signed in the 90s down in Waynesville in front of the courthouse on Route 66.
Nice mural in Waynesville as well to greet people as they drive on Route 66 as well.
Yes, over the last few years, the city of Waynesville has worked with Ray Harvey. He is a famous muralist up and down Route 66 across the different states. And he has come down, and I believe he's completed 5 murals at this time. I hear tell he might be in town again soon for another one. But there's several beautiful murals that Ray has created. And they're great places to stop, spend a little bit of time. And then there's also one mural that was created by our local high school students. And I call it our interactive mural because there's a canoe in front of that mural, and you can go in the little shop that the mural's on and get a paddle and go out and kind of pretend you're paddling on the river that's in the background of the mural. And there's also the 8-foot Route 66 shield on the corner that a lot of people stop by and take pictures of or get selfies with. And it is located in front of the 1903 Pulaski County Museum. And there are only 2 museums on Route 66 in Missouri. This is one of them, and the other one's in Carthage, Missouri. Another key attribute over in Waynesville is they have the National Park Service Cherokee Encampment. And this is a Trail of Tears memorial and walking trail. And we have a lot of folks that stop down and visit that area along the Ruby Doo River. It's absolutely gorgeous. There is a spring that bubbles up. It's kind of the local swimming hole, but there's also a cave, and we get a lot of divers from all around the world that come to the Ruby Doo Spring to dive that cave. And so there's a lot of different unique elements, in our county here.
I was trying to look up quick when the big Missouri kickoff is in Springfield here.
I believe it's the end of April.
Oh, you're right on that. I'm just trying to look up the specific date here, and we are April 30th. Boy, that's the very end of it.
Yes.
April 30th. And the reason I wanted to mention it is that, Gretchen Wilson and members of Rascal Flats, looks like appearances by the Ozark Mountain Daredevils and the Haygoods. They must be pretty well-known locally there. And then looks like Chris
from the Branson area, actually. Yeah.
Okay, Branson. And then, but the big main event, John Goodman is going to be your special host for the event. And Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, and The Big Lebowski, two of my favorite movies of all time. And John Goodman, of course, has a special place in my heart. So I'm looking forward to, if I don't get to meet him, at least be a part of that event. So we're scheduling our trip to try to be there, definitely for that big kickoff.
Oh,
And my understanding is it's kind of the
amazing.
the big kickoff for the whole kit and caboodle,
It
the
is.
whole road.
Yes. It was a tremendous honor for Springfield, Missouri to be chosen for this event. And rightfully, that's where it needed to be, with them being the birthplace of Route 66. And, speaking of John Goodman, he's actually a St. Louis native. So he's right here from Missouri.
I wondered what the connection was on that. I figured he must have been from the town or something like that, because I don't remember him in any Route 66 or Route 66 movies or shows or anything along those lines. But Pulaski County must have been second choice for the big
Oh,
kickoff.
I think so. I think so. And I'm okay with that.
Right there at the devil's elbow, John Goodman, Actually, with the Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, that would have been a
That
perfect
would have been
fit.
perfect.
The neon light would have been a little more Big Lebowski. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
your county can fit John Goodman just fine. But hey, Beth, I appreciate the time today, and stay in touch. Make sure if there's anything that is coming up, please let us know.
Yes.
Feel free, your county, if whatever content we produce on this Americana archive, it's public record as far as we're concerned. We'd like people to share this. We'd like people to use it, and people to really learn from this and really embrace the centennial, which is almost a second birthday for America. Really, that's how I'm looking at this. I mean, this is really truly our culture that we are living today is so much based on this road from the birth of middle class, people getting in their roads and being traveling salesmen and driving right up to the door in a motel and all these different things. So I'll give you any the final thoughts, final words. Kind of what do you want people to know about your county and with the Route 66 celebrations?
Yes. Well, with the Route 66 Centennial, we've been working throughout our industry for years for this amazing year for the route. And it is of interest from people all around the world. We probably have a larger visitation from the international tourists. And so we're excited now that our US folks are really getting excited for the route and understanding the importance for transportation in America that the route opened up. And for our county, we're just excited to be a part of it. We invite travelers to come experience the entire route. But if you want to plan your stay here in Pulaski County, USA, just go to visitpulaskicounty.org and you will find tools to help you get along our part of the route. We have turn-by-turn directions. We have an online interactive map. We have an audio tour, all of the different attractions listed, and different themed itineraries, and things to enjoy while you're here in our little part of the world.
Looking at the communities here, St. Robert, Waynesville, Dixon, is it Crocker or Croker?
Crocker.
Crocker,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Richland, Devil's Elbow, Duke,
Lakeway.
Lakeway,
Lakeway.
Lakeway,
Yeah.
Buckhorn, Fort Leonard Wood. Okay, I'm just at the visit PulaskiCounty.org. Nice
Mhm.
website, very easy to navigate. Beth, thank you so much for your time today.
Well, thank you for the opportunity again. I appreciate you.